All right, everybody, here we go. On to day 3. Day 1, we talked about your vision of someday, what it was that you want to accomplish someday in order to reverse engineer that to this year. And then yesterday, we took this year, looked at how the monthly goals could change, seasonality, looked at what you would need to do each month, each week, and then each day in order to win the day and succeed. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about intention. How do you add intentionality to your day in order to make sure that you actually win the day? So, because that's really the point of it all. The point of it is to set your goals, make them relevant to your long-term plan, both professionally and personally, and then make sure that you're doing the things each day that are going to get you there. Because if we're seeing a squirrel or a shiny butterfly and we go chasing it and we stop going the right direction, it could put a large pause into our big plan. We've all heard about compound interest, compounding work, and the compound factor says that if we start going a different direction, it will slow down our forward progress. Obviously, I think that kind of makes some logical sense, right? All right. So looking at what we're doing right now, goal without a plan is just a wish, right? And so let's put that plan into motion. First off, take a pause. If you haven't done it yet, please jump onto bemoredaily.com, register to join our live Zoom calls that happen just after this call at 9. We're a group of people getting together, telling people what our intention is for the day, and then coming back the next day and reporting on it. As small business owners, if we can keep each other accountable to hitting our daily goals for the day, we know that we will get that hockey stick curve for success. All right. So, what is the most important action that you will take today to accomplish your daily goal? That was how we ended yesterday. We wanted to understand what the most important action was that you would take today to achieve your daily goal. So, what did you have down as your action? And Mike, I had you come up. If you can mute, please. I'm not really sure why you're showing on my screen instead of me. Um, Perfect. Thank you, sir. You could just mute. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Mike. All right. I don't know if everybody else is seeing Mike join us. We're going to start having some guests join us live here as the week goes on. And Mike is going to be one of those guests. He's run successful franchises for us. So one thing that I want you to understand is once you've figured out what task you want to complete daily, I want to know how you're going to guarantee that you get this done. So there's a study in the UK concerning exercise habits. This study's come out in a few different books. I've seen it in Atomic Habits. I've seen it in a book by a gentleman I just met last week, actually, in person, Chad. And they referenced this study in the UK that was put out by the British Health magazine. And they took participants and they divided them into 3 groups. Now, the first group, they looked at them and said, hey, we want you to track your exercise effort. Go out there, exercise, make sure you're keeping track of your effort because we want to know how you did at the end of this study. The second group, they said, we're going to give you some motivational material, a little speech that tells you why exercise is important, a pamphlet that tells you why exercise is important, and then you go out, exercise, and track the exercise. So who do you think between those 2 groups, who do you think did it better? Who exercised better, did better work over the 2 weeks of the study? The group that did not get motivational material and was just told to track it, or the group that did get the motivational material and told to track it? All right, the results might surprise you because the success rate for just go exercise and track your effort was 38%. Out of the group, 38% exercised when they said they were going to exercise and tracked it. The people who were given the motivational message actually did worse. they dropped down to 35% for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe the motivation didn't strike a chord for them, and they got a little offended by it. Who knows? What was really, really interesting is I told you there were three groups. Three groups went out to exercise. The third group, they asked them to call their shot. They said, hey, I want you to get intentional about it. We want you to tell us when you're going to exercise, where you're going to go, and what you're going to be doing there. And so the group that called their shot almost tripled the results. They got 91% actually exercised more often and when they said they were going to over the course of the study, which is just wild to me. So the phrase that they use inside of this study, what they wrote down was this: during this week, I will partake in at least 20 minutes of vigorous exercise on this day, at this time, and at this place. That's a pretty simple phrase, right? Something that you can easily write down and figure out. And that's what we're going to do today. That's the point of today's call. What I want you to do is, again, we looked at our someday vision. We backed it down to this year. We looked at our year goal and backed it down to today. What I want you to do for your today is to write down, this is when I'm going to do it. This is what I'm going to do. And if I got to be at a place to do it, I want you to recognize that place. This takes some intentionality too, as well, by the way, right? Because the intentionality that we face here is if you're coming back from, from work and you know that you need to go to the gym, do you think you accomplished getting to the gym by sitting on the couch, right? Probably not. If you go upstairs and change it to your gym clothes and then go back downstairs to your car, then we can know that we're going to be on the path to making it to the gym. So setting some intentionality behind where you're going to be at what time makes a big difference, because clearly going home and sitting on the couch doesn't help us hit our gym goal, right? Okay, so coming back to this real quick, I want you to allow for grace. This, by the way, is the thing that makes my habit tracker a little bit different than some of the habit trackers that y'all have used in the past. So if you need it, reach out. Message me on LinkedIn, message me on Facebook, message me on Instagram, send an email to jeff@bemoreeveryday.com. Let me know if you want to get this habit tracker. It's a 77-day habit tracker because it allows for a little bit of grace. If you mess up one day, it's going to be okay, as long as we are, again, on a path with intention towards the goal that we're going to hit. So I want you to look at your daily task today and also allow for grace. This is the time I'm aiming for. And if something happens, because sometimes things happen, if something happens and you don't get it done at that time, what's your backup time? Now, I want you to pay attention to this, because if you pay attention to this, what you're going to start to see is if you give yourself too much grace, you're always going to try to get it done at the backup time. And if you give yourself too much grace, you're going to start missing your backup time. So recognize what obstacles are popping up. That's one of the things we talk about on our live call, by the way, is what obstacles are popping up. So that way you can make a plan to avoid that obstacle, to jump over the obstacle, to still go through and with intention, do what you said you were going to do that day. Recognizing the obstacles allow you to move forward into success. And that's it. That's our call for today. Again, if you like the workout, reach out. If you haven't done it yet, please jump onto bemoredaily.com. If you can't make these calls live, you can still tell us what you want to do today, and we can still encourage you to do it, because there's a place that you can enter your daily goal for today, and there's a place to come back and announce your results. This is a no-charge group. We're meeting anyway because we want to make sure that you help keep the main thing, all right? And so since we're meeting anyway, and we're doing accountability together anyway, we want to let you come in and be accountable with us for the goals that you are working to hit. So hope to see you there in just a moment. Thanks all.